In today's video, I'm going to share with you my entire client branding process. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Like I mentioned in the beginning, I'm going to share with you guys today all of the steps I go through to get to the final branding package. So I'm going to talk about the very start of how I receive my clients, the client experience, the design process, and what it takes to really get to the final product. So let's hop right into it. So the first step to the entire thing is how I get my clients. So typically my clients are either filling out my website form, which is ideal, or they're sending me an Instagram message, or I'm getting a direct email from them, or potentially just word of mouth. But at the end of the day, I want all of my clients to end up on my website form. So if I get an Instagram lead or if I get someone directly through my email, I'm going to be sending them that form on my website just so I can get some more information from them. But I'm also sending them that form because that form, once it's filled out, is automated in a way that once it's done, they are going to receive an email that will allow them to schedule a discovery call. So discovery calls with me are actually very important. It kind of seems like an extra step in the mix, but discovery calls help me get to know the client. They help me kind of get a feel for how serious they are about the project, and it just kind of builds a better rapport with my clients, and it just starts the relationship off on a really good note. But also my discovery calls, I have a list of questions that I go through to make sure I'm getting everything answered before I build a proposal for them. So during my discovery call, I want to figure out what kind of timeline we're looking at. I want to figure out what kind of styles they like to make sure that we're even a good fit to begin with. And I want to make sure I know exactly what they need, because oftentimes clients might think they just need a logo when in reality they need the whole branding package, and they need to understand the strategy behind their entire business. So a lot of times it's a little bit of guidance, but those discovery calls typically take 20 to 30 minutes max. So really those calls are just set up in place for me to build that relationship and figure out if this is something that we want to continue working on. So that is my second step. The third step after the discovery call is to create my proposal. I have switched this step quite a bit because my next step typically would be my questionnaire, but now it is to just build the proposal. So during the proposal process, I'm taking all my notes from the discovery call, all my notes from the form they filled out on my website, and then building a proposal based on everything I know. The proposal takes about 2 to 3 days because I am really customizing it and I'm making it fit exactly what their needs are. But within DUBSADO, I do have my packages set up so that those are pretty standard, but the text and the images on the proposal is very custom to my clients. So that is my third step, is the proposal creation. Now, when I'm done with the proposal, it's time to send it off. So I send that proposal off with another link to book a call with me, just so that they have it ready and accessible in case they have any questions about the proposal, any questions about the timeline ahead, anything they want to get off their chest before they submit that deposit. I leave that link there for them to contact me and also just open up the floor for any sort of conversation. So that is how I handle the proposal part. Now, once the proposal is in my client's hands, they have a specific amount of days to decide if they want to move forward with it. So I have an expiration date on my proposals now, because I have realized that if I don't have an expiration date and that proposal's open for months and months, then they could potentially decide they want to work with me in 2 months when I'm already fully booked and it's just not a good time anymore. So I always add an expiration date, so that kind of also gives the client a little bit of a push to decide and choose if they want to work with me. So the clients have about 7 days to decide, and once they decide, it's time for them to either schedule a call with me to get any questions answered, but the next step is for them to submit their deposit. So once I receive the deposit, that is when everything begins on my side. So that is when I not only build their portal, which is going to have their timeline, their schedule, their questionnaire, all the materials I've received from them so far is going to be in this portal area where we can access it throughout the entire project. The portal is also very important for me because that is where I can assign clients specific tasks if they need to go collect some photos for the website or if they need to go collect some content for the website. That is where all the tasks are going to be. So that is how I handle the next step. So before I dive into the design concepts, I send them over a questionnaire to dive deeper into what exactly they want. In this questionnaire, I like to get ideas of logos that they admire. I like to understand like logo designs that they don't really love, even if they're not related to their industry. I just want to know everything that they're attracted to, everything they like, whether there's some colors that maybe they just despise. I want to know it all right away. So I like to send them that questionnaire once I get the deposit. That way we are on the same page from the very beginning. And then I dive into the concepts. So when I'm diving into the concepts, I start off with really understanding the brand as a whole. I like to look at the strategy behind what are we rebranding or what are we creating here. So I always like to come up with like a mission statement that really just gives a full view on the company and the goals behind the client's brand and the brand itself. So the mission statement ties everything together and is like my first page to the branding package to get us all on the same page. And then I go into my mood board. The mood board is where I just get all of my inspiration ideas out there, where I'm able to see kind of what images and imagery that we can use maybe on the website later on, but just everything that kind of makes me visualize the brand as a whole, and those images just kind of help us both get on the same page and make sure that I'm going down the right path and that I'm visualizing what they're visualizing. So the branding or the mood board is very important. It's a step I feel like some people skip, but for me it really helps because it kind of gets my creative brain thinking. On the mood board page, I also include the values of the brand. So these values help because if I am going to be doing a website later on, I'm going to want to know the values behind everything that they're presenting, but also the values just help me create a logo that speaks strength or speaks confidence and really just exudes those values. So the values are very important as well. So now I have the mission statement, the strategy, the mood board, the imagery, the values, and now it's time to build the logos or design the logos. So for me, I always like to just take a blank piece of paper and draw all my ideas out. So I've already kind of scrolled through Pinterest, I've gotten my inspiration from my mood board. Now it's time to draw out all of my concepts. So as I'm drawing these out, I'm really thinking about the fonts I want to use. I'm thinking about the typography that I'm going to tie into this, and I'm just really considering how I'm going to bring this to life. So once I have all my sketches out, that's when I hop into my computer and I design them using Adobe Illustrator. Or I design the custom elements using Procreate on my iPad. So that is the step I take when it comes to actually turning these into vectorized, usable files. Now, once I have those first concepts done, I like to send around 4, sometimes more concepts to my clients. I also like to put these logos in use. So I'll mock up the logos, I'll present it really nice so that they can visualize exactly what it was that I'm designing. Now, once I have the entire branding package, the very first initial branding package put together, I send it off to my clients, and I send it off with another link to book a call with me. On that link to book a call, I want to make sure that they're booking a call within our timeline. So if we have another week to get the feedback or schedule the call to get feedback, we can do that. Or if they want to email me the feedback, that's okay too. But I always like to give my clients the option to hop on a call because sometimes it's easier to communicate that way. So now I have my next round of revisions. So I like to call my revisions my revision rounds, and I like to allow for around 3 revisions. I personally charge for my revisions if it's past 3 because I just feel like at that point we should already be on the same page. And if we're going past 3, then I kind of feel like maybe the client just isn't fully diving into exactly what they want, what they need, and I want them to also take it serious. So I only allow for 3 revision rounds. After that, I do charge. So now we're into the rounds of revisions, and I really like to take every single round of revision so serious because I don't want to get to the 3rd revision round. I really want to nail it on the 2nd round or even the 1st round. So I'm always making sure to get all the feedback I can and make sure I understand everywhere the client's coming from. So now we have the revision round done. And let's say that this next revision round was the winner. We have the logo they like. Then it's time for me to package up the logo, package up the entire branding package, which includes additional pages of how to use the logo, how to not use the logo, and how to use the typography, how to use the fonts. And I like to compile it all into a nice, beautiful PDF package that they can use or even use later on down the line if they need to send it to somebody else. I like to send them this PDF package, but I also send them a Google Drive with all their files that they can download and ready to use. But before I send them that Google Drive and any other materials, I have to accept the final payment. I do not send them any materials until I receive that final payment. That way we know the project's complete and here's your package and we're ready to go. So that is my process right now. Also, one thing I want to mention is once you're sending over that branding package, it's so important to include a link to leave a review for you. I personally accept my reviews on Google My Business because it just helps with SEO and it's like building for me, and I just really love Google My Business. So I like to send them a link to leave a review for me while it's fresh on their mind. And I just like to make sure my client was really happy with everything and that maybe they don't need anything moving forward, or if they do need anything moving forward, I'd love to have conversations with them. So this is when I really just close it out and make sure they have everything they need. So that is my process. I really hope that was helpful. I feel like I have definitely adjusted my process through time. I used to, like I said, send questionnaires in the very beginning, but I adjusted my website form to include some questions that I just needed to know right away. All right, you guys, I hope that was super helpful. Let me know your process. I would love to hear it. I'm always interested in knowing how people are handling their clients coming in and how they're handling their design process. So let me know, and let me know if this was helpful. And I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If it was helpful, I would appreciate it so much if you gave my video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so that you can see more to come. And I will see you guys in my next video.